Hey guys, it is Christian here, and today I am here with my updated Oscar predictions for November. Before I get this, please like and subscribe and tell me what you think of these predictions. And also post your own predictions down in the comment section. Love to see them. So we're gonna start off with Best Picture. So Everything Everywhere has moved back to number one since we've done these prediction videos. It was not number one last time, but this time it is number one. I just have a feeling last time I said it's a movie that I could just see going down, but now I think it's gonna be one that goes up as award season progresses. I think it has possibility to potentially win all the precursors. Has potential to win SAG Ensemble, potential to win Screenplay and Supporting Actor. And it could even win Actress or Editing, even though those categories are a little more difficult to win. Now, The Fabelmans was number one last time, but I just think that it's going to go down because it just feels like that festival movie that gains momentum at the festivals and then after just goes down, like exactly what happened with Belfast. However, I still think it's top two contender. Spielberg's probably gonna take director considering how weak that category is, and it could maybe win other categories if it becomes the front runner for Best Picture. So yeah, I think that's pretty much still in there though. It's gonna get in. Banshees of Inisherin is also a top contender at this point. I think it will do better than people think it will on Oscar nominations. I think it will get a good amount of nominations. I think it could win a few categories. We'll talk about which categories I think it could win. And yeah, I think it could get in everywhere. It's probably going to get in everywhere. It's going to be a strong contender with the actors and screenplay and director could be a strong contender. So yeah, I think Banshees has just solidified itself as a top contender. And then Women Talking. I still think Women Talking is a top contender. I still think it'll do really well. Probably win Adapted Screenplay. Could maybe win Supporting Actress. However, I do think the movie could underperform on nomination morning. I think the movie is a little bit shaky in other categories, which we'll get into which categories I think it's a little bit shaky in. So yeah, but I still think it'll be in there no matter what, because it has to get in. And then moving up a full 5 slots compared to last time is Tar. Tar was number 10 when we did this because I thought it's gonna be a contender that gains momentum for festivals, but then it continues to go down until it just gets snubbed for Best Picture. However, I think Tar's just gonna continue to go up. It's doing way better. I was dumb to compare it to Spencer because it's really not the same thing. Like Todd Field is basically a lock-in director. Cate Blanchett could win an actress. The movie is going to get a screenplay nomination. Nina Haas, I think, is a strong contender. I don't really see the movie getting any text, but I think Above the Line matters even more than text. So yeah, I think Tar is a lock at this point. Top Gun Maverick, I also think is a lock. I think it'll be a big technical contender and get a good few amount of tech nominations and even a couple of tech wins. Obviously, a song, it's gonna be a big contender. Yeah, Top Gun's just in there. I don't see it missing I don't see it missing anymore. I mean, it's been I think it's been a lock for a while. So yeah, I think it's been a lock for a while. So, and I just think it's gonna continue to go up. Now, Babylon's number 7. Reactions came out last week. And they're mixed to positive. The reactions made me more confident in other categories, but made me a little bit less confident in others. There are categories where I still think it will get in, and there are only a couple categories where I do have it missing. I do think these 7 are pretty much in there though. I think you should definitely have these 7 on your list, and maybe even this top 8 because I think Avatar: The Way of Water will get in. Wait, no, Avatar's not a lock though. So yeah, it's really just this top 7 that's locked in because Avatar, if it's not as good as the first, and it's just a good blockbuster, then what will be the point? I think the point will be is that it has a good shot to win a couple of tech categories. And I think it will be a huge technical juggernaut, and it could get like and I think it could get like and get five not tech nominations and stuff. Like it's gonna be a ginormous contender in the tech categories. It's gonna be crazy. But then other than that, like you pretty much have like the basket, and it's kind of just like a big giant fuck fest. So we're just gonna go over what's competing in 9 and 10 slots. Del Toro's Pinocchio is number 9. I do think this is Netflix's biggest contender, and I do think they're gonna get a movie in, and this just seems to be their biggest bet. This movie could get other nominations in other categories. It's a lock to win Best Animated Feature, so there you go. And people like the film, so yeah, why not, really? And then Elvis still number 10. I do think Elvis will follow the same route as like Bohemian Rhapsody, get Golden Globe drama, get PGA, and then get Oscar nomination. Maybe not as strong because I don't think Austin Butler's gonna win, but yeah, I think, and also, this is the big reason I haven't in those because Warner Brothers is very good at getting movies into Best Picture. They got 10 movies in the last decade. The only where they didn't get a movie in was 2016 in the last decade. So Warner Brothers is very strong, and I think this is gonna be their biggest contender, and they're gonna get nominated for it. So yeah, and if you're wondering, like only 9 out of 10 years they've been nominated. They were double nominated one year. I don't remember what year that was, and I'm gonna have to look that up later because we can't do that here. Of course, we're just gonna have to look at these predictions. Of course, The Whale though is a very close 11 for me. I do think The Whale could get it because Brendan Fraser is absolutely a winning conversation in actor. He could definitely win. However, I do think The Whale doesn't need a Best Picture nomination. I think the only reason why people think it's getting it is because Fraser is a winning is because Fraser could win. Maybe that's like enough, and maybe it just gets in off of that. But like, I don't see like what do you take out here? Because all these studios like Elvis, Warner Bros. Is strong. Pinocchio, Netflix is strong, and A24 already has everything everywhere. So, are they gonna get 2 movies in? I don't know. The Whale can still get in though. I think it'll get Critics' Choice, but I'm not really 100% sure if it's gonna get in anywhere else. Decision to Leave, I actually do think is weaker. I thought like even like a few days ago that it could end up being like Drive My Car if it does well at BAFTA and gets like a screenplay directors and stuff like that. However, I still think it's the biggest international contender. However, I have been seeing it missing at some of these like big critic shows. Like it just missed Best International Feature at the Indie Spirits, which I thought was pretty big. Maybe it wasn't eligible, but it still missed there anyway. Triangle of Sadness, I still think that could maybe happen if Ruben Östlund becomes a director contender, which he could maybe be a director contender. I think Triangle of Sadness will get a picture nomination, especially because I think it could get in at a screenplay nomination. So yeah. However, Triangle of Sadness, I just think like it's not as strong in director, so probably won't be as strong in picture. At number 14, I have Aftersun. This is a big critic movie. It's been doing really well at these critic shows, at these critic award shows. And I think this could do well at BAFTA. I think BAFTA could nominate this in a few categories like director and actor and stuff like that. However, I do think it could underperform in a few places like Critics' Choice. It could be like Come On, Come On. Where it just misses a few categories. Like, it missed the Indie Spirits for the Best Feature category. I wonder if it's because it wasn't, like, First Feature, but it still missed the Best Feature. So, maybe it's not as strong of a critic contender, actually. I might have been wrong. That's, like, doing extremely well. Because it's not doing, like, the best, but it's doing decently, I guess. Paul Mescal is doing decent. So, yeah. And then Glass Onion, Knives Out. I'm just not feeling that anymore. I think Glass Onion is just kind of going to get, like, a screenplay nomination or bust, really. And it's going to get that screenplay nomination, so it won't be bust. I won't get goose egged. She Said's another one that people have higher up than me and people have listed their top 10s. I'm just not really, like, confident in it for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like maybe it's because it's like another bland like journalist film. People like the film. Critics like it. The movie could probably maybe get in at Critics' Choice, but I don't really see it getting in anywhere aside that. And I just think it's a little bit bland, and then just not. And it's not just, and it's probably not gonna excite the Academy enough. All Quiet on the Western Front got pushed down. I don't think that'll happen. I think Decision to Leave is the bigger international contender. Although All Quiet will still get like a few tech nominations. It'll probably get like 2 or maybe 3 tech nominations. So it's not like 100% done, but I do think it is pretty done. Woman King's done. That's not gonna get Best Picture. I think at minimum that get like 2 nominations probably. A lot of people have like been really overhyping it. A lot of people have been overhyping it in other categories. Like I just don't think it'll be that strong. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This movie came out a while ago. This movie came out 2 weeks ago, and now that that's been out, the reviews aren't as good as Black Panther 1. I just don't think this is gonna happen. The reviews are still good. People still really like the film, but like people have issues with it. It's probably gonna get like a few nominations at the end of the day, like 4, maybe even 3. And that's like pretty much it, really. Till, and then in my number 20, I have Till, just because Danielle Deadwyler is a lock-in actress, but there's no really other reason besides that I would have it in there, you know. Everything else I just think is kind of like not gonna happen. Director Steven Spielberg's still number 1 for The Fabelmans. I think he's just the biggest like lock here. Here I don't really see another like good number 1 here to put here. I mean Todd Field for Tar, maybe. Could that win director? I think he'll do really well with critic groups. I think critic groups will award him. And he's just become a lock at this point. Back when I was underestimating Tar, I had him missing, even though I did have him like right on the outside. But now he's just 100% gonna get a nomination for this movie. He's locked in. Daniels, could they win? Could they? I think they're gonna not win. I don't think they're gonna win, even if everything ever wins. I don't really think they would win, but Daniels I think will get nominated. I think they're gonna get Critics' Choice, DGA, BAFTA. They could get BAFTA. BAFTAs you never know though, because the BAFTAs will be fucking weird. So, and then David Chazelle in Babylon. A lot of people have been losing confidence in him because of these reactions. A lot of people have been put off his list. I do think he is a little bit weaker now. However, I just think if Babylon's still remains in Best Picture, Chazelle will get director. The movie just looked very stylized, and I think the directing could be one of the best things about the film. And then my number 5, I have Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave. I do think you have to fit in that international director, and I do think he has the best shot at getting in. I think the BAFTAs will go for him, and then that'll be the sign that he gets the Oscar nomination. So yeah, I just think like he'll get in based solely on that. However, Martin McDonagh, Banshees of Inisherin, I think he could maybe get in everywhere. Honestly, I could see him doing really well. However, they did snub him for 3 Billboards, and the movie might just not be as directory as the other movies in my top 5, and as the other directors in my top 5, it might just not be as directory as the others. I still think he'll be strong, though. Sarah Polley in Women Talking. Last time I said that I think she could be a winning conversation. However, I think that's kind of gone. I do think she'll get snubbed like Greta Gerwig did in Little Women. I think she'll get a few places like Globes, maybe, Critics' Choice, but I think she'll get snubbed at DGA, and then that'll be kind of her downfall. Also, I think she's winning screenplay, and also she's going to win in screenplay, and they might feel like that's enough. James Cameron for Way of Water could maybe get a few places, but I'm just seeing Denis Villeneuve and Dune. Big, like, tech juggernaut that just doesn't get a director nomination at the end of the day. And that's pretty much everyone. And then Ruben Östlund in Triangle of Sadness. If Triangle of Sadness becomes a good amount. If Triangle of Sadness does well at BAFTAs and he gets like nominated there, maybe it could happen. But I think Decision to Leave would have to be weak in order for that to happen. I'm not sure how weak Decision to Leave will be at BAFTA. That's kind of everyone who I think has a shot. I think, and then my 10th slot's Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front. That's not going to happen. Especially because the movie's weaker overall. I just think he won't get in. Now we're moving on to Best Actor. Hate me if you want, but I have Colin Farrell at number 1 for Banshees of Inisherin. I'm just seeing, like, Anthony Hopkins in The Father vibes, and Olivia Colman in The Favorite, Marion Cotillard in Olivia and Rose, Frances McDormand, Nomadland. Just, like, big, like, well, more specifically, the other 3 I meant. More specifically, Olivia Colman and Marion Cotillard. Golden Globe comedy, he's obviously locked to win. And then BAFTAs, I think they'll go for him, considering, like, it's a British movie, and he's not British, he's Irish, but still. I think the fact that it's, like, a British movie, and they're probably going to like that movie, they might give him the award, and then, boom, he could win the Oscar. Although the thing is that Brendan Fraser is really strong. He can absolutely win. I think he'll start off the award season very strong. He'll probably win Golden Globe Drama. I think he'll win Critics' Choice. And then I think he'll probably lose SAG. And then that'll kind of be like downfall. And also, the Oscars don't really reward comeback stories as much as you would expect. I mean, they didn't give Mickey Rourke the Oscar for The Wrestler. I think this is the most similar to Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler, where it just loses steam and they give it to someone else. That someone else being Sean Penn and Milk. This situation, it is Colin Farrell and Banshees. And then they also didn't give Mickey Rourke the Oscar. They didn't give a bunch of other like big comeback awards. Like, look what happened with Glenn Close and The Wife. That was like a big comeback. And that was, like, an overdue narrative, and she didn't get it still. Like, that's, like, I think this kind of puts him in danger, but I still think he'll be in winning conversation throughout the entire award season. Like, I just think he'll... And also, I think The Whale is a little more, like, a shaky Best Picture compared to Banshees. Banshees is a bigger lock in Best Picture, so... Although The Whale, Brendan Fraser, still a lock, still could win. Not saying I'm not confident in him, because I definitely think he can win. Austin Butler and Elvis is going to happen. I do think he actually could win SAG, because SAGs have... I think the SAGs are probably going to have the whole influencer thing, and that could help him out, I think. Because he's younger, people probably, like, recognize his performance more. I think he'll get in almost everywhere. He'll probably miss... BAFTAs, you never know what they're going to do, but I think he'll get in everywhere else, and I think he's just a lock at this point. These other 2 Best Actor slots are hell, though. Like, they're literally, like, a mess. Like, they could literally go in many different directions, I think. I decided to put Bill Nighy at number 4 for Living. This is a British movie, and people say he's really good in it. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, he got in at the British Independent Film Awards, and in the last decade, there was only 1 year where an actor that wasn't nominated at the British Independent Film Awards was not nominated at the Oscars. Every other year, except for that 1 year, it has happened, so I do think that looks good for Bill Nighy. I think Golden Globe Drama, the category's not that crowded, he could get in. Critics' Choice, I think they could nominate him. BAFTAs will definitely nominate him because he's British, but yeah. SAGs will probably snub him, but that doesn't even matter because he has, like, all those other 3, and that's, like, enough, I think. And then number 5, I have Diego Calva in Babylon. I think these reactions have actually made me more confident that this is happening, actually. I think he'll get in, almost everywhere. BAFTAs, I mean, we obviously don't know what's going to happen with BAFTAs, but he'll get in everywhere that I think he can get in. And I just think, like, he's, like, people have been, like, mentioning him a lot in these reactions, which makes me think, yeah, he'll happen. Is he snubbable? Maybe, but I wouldn't predict him to get snubbed. I think he'll get in still. Still think he'll get in. Other outside shots, though, Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick. This is number 6. A lot of people think this could happen. This is kind of like a comeback narrative for him, I guess. I mean, Golden Globe drama. I mean, Golden Globe in the Golden Globe drama category. Like that's too easy that he'll get in there. He'll absolutely get in there. I think with Critics' Choice, they have their 10 slots. They have their 6 slots. There you go. He could get in there. I think SAGs will go for him. BAFTAs will probably snub him, but yeah. The only thing though with Tom Cruise is I see like Bale and Ford v Ferrari vibes. Christian Bale and Ford v Ferrari, like a big like performance from like a blockbuster that gets in a few places but then misses at the Oscars. I think that same thing could happen with Tom Cruise. So that's why I have him missing at the moment. And then Hugh Jackman and The Son. I just don't think this is gonna happen. I think The Son's just gonna be completely forgotten, and people are gonna forget about Jackman's performance. And he'll get in at like the Golden Globes because they have their categories split, so you can easily fit him in there. But even there, I don't think he's 100% lock guaranteed a nomination there. But I still think he'll probably get it. But I think he'll get subbed everywhere else. Critics' Choice, BAFTA, SAG. They probably won't go for him. Or maybe SAG could still go for him, but I wouldn't predict it at this point. I just think The Son's gonna be forgotten. Paul Mescal for Aftersun. He's been doing well with critic groups. Could maybe happen at Critics' Choice. I think BAFTAs will go for him. Could maybe happen at Critics' Choice, but yeah, I just don't really see it being an Oscar thing, you know. Then I have Song Came Home for Broker. This is international performance. I don't think this will happen. Some people will probably predict it as like a Penelope Cruz-esque nominations, but Penelope Cruz is a way bigger name than Song Kang-ho is, and she was nominated for an Almodovar film. This movie is not Almodovar, so just keep that in mind. Like, I don't think that this will happen. And then number 10 is just like a big like mess, so I just put Will Smith in Emancipation in my 10th slot, but that won't happen because of the whole slap incident. They're not going to want to go near that performance. So on to actress. Cate Blanchett, number 1 for Tar. I just think it's the most likely. I think she'll win like most of the awards, like Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, like. There you go. I think that could, and like Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, BAFTA could happen. Just there you go. I think it's like the baitiest performance there. If she won, I wouldn't be upset because even though I wasn't really the biggest fan of Tar, she was still phenomenal in the film. So yeah, I think that could definitely win. I think Michelle Yeoh could also win for Everything Everywhere. I think this will probably win at Golden Globe Comedy Musical, and this could probably win at SAG. I mean, it's also like an overdue like narrative and stuff like that, and the fact that this is like I think this is the first Asian actress to be nominated in this category, and the fact that you have the opportunity to give her a win could help her out, I think. Margot Robbie for Babylon. Same thing with Calva. The reactions just made me more confident in her. I don't think she's gonna win, but I do think she'll get nominated. Because the reactions have been mentioning her a lot, and it's just a really baity performance, so she probably won't get snubbed. Daniel Deadwyler and Till, that's gonna happen. She got weirdly left out of Indie Spirits yesterday, but that doesn't matter, because she'll get in mostly everywhere. Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, like, SAG, maybe she can miss SAG, because the SAG category is actually crazy, but BAFTAs could go for her. I just think she'll be very strong, and people say her performance is really good, so. And she apparently does a lot in the movie, so yeah, I think she'll get in for sure. And then Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans, like, this is like. It feels weird that this performance wouldn't get in. I haven't seen the movie myself, but her performance apparently is very baity, so there you go, she can get in. I don't think it's possible that she's category frauded in the supporting, but if she's not frauded and she stays in lead, I think she'll get nominated in lead. I think I feel weirdly like confident in this top 5. I have a feeling that this top 5 like won't be touched unless there's category fraud or something, or unless like Naomi Aki and I Want to Dance with Somebody is like really good, and the movie's like good overall, like Elvis level good. Elvis wasn't great, but it was a good movie, I guess. I Want to Dance with Somebody's gonna be so mid though, like it's gonna be mid. Also, I think the performance is going to be strong. Jennifer Hudson respect vibes. I think she'll get in at SAG, and she'll get in at the Golden Globe drama category, but I don't really think she'll get in at the Oscars. I don't think the Oscars will go for it. BAFTA's, Naomi Aki's British, so I guess that could happen, but I don't know yet. I don't really think anyone else really stands a chance, though. I think Olivia Colman for Empire Light, I don't think that's going to happen. When the movie was falling, I held on to confidence to her because the Oscars really like Olivia Colman. However, I think usually when movies slip, the actors slip. Look what happened with House of Gucci last year. A perfect example of this. Usually when a movie slips, the actors slip, and then once the movie slips, the actors won't get nominated. I think Olivia Colman will probably get in at the same thing with Hugh Jackman, probably getting at the Golden Globes because the category is not crowded. And the Golden Globes love Olivia Colman. They've given her 6 nominations and 3 wins, so they really love her. So she'll probably still get in there, but I think she'll not get nominated anywhere else. The BAFTAs, the jury didn't nominate her for The Father or for The Lost Daughter, so that won't happen. Viola Davis and The Woman King, a lot of people have her in their top 5s, and it's not going to happen. I can already tell you, she might not get a single precursor. Golden Globes and SAG, I guess, are not impossible, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't really... she's good in Woman King. She's actually really good in it, but, probably not going to appeal to the Oscars. I don't see the Oscars going for that performance, really. And the last 2 slots are just completely slot fillers. Zoe Kazan, she said just because she was campaigning there, but that won't happen. And then Jennifer Lawrence and Causeway because whatever. Because Ana de Armas won't happen. I just think that Blonde's completely dead. So I don't even think she's worth being in top 5 and top 10. So yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is just there just because. And then Best Supporting Actress. Carrie Condon is number 1 for Banshees. I actually have no idea who's winning this category. It is a literal mess. And this is actually what makes me think that they could still, put Michelle Williams in here. Because, if they want the win to be obvious, she'll get in there and then she'll just freaking win. However, I put Carrie Condon at number 1 because I just don't really see any of the women talking actresses winning. And Banshees, I think, will be strong enough to the point where I think it could get an acting win or maybe even 2 acting wins, so I just put her at number 1. We already have the movie getting 1 acting win with Colin Farrell. I might as well predict her because the category is, very weak. And I already mentioned, the 2 women talking actresses. They'll probably still get in. I think Jessie Buckley's a little more likely because I've seen her getting in at more places. Although Claire Foy, I think, based on the trailer, her performance will be more baity. A lot of people have been saying that she could miss just because, if they want, Banshees, if they think Banshees will just be a lone double nominee and they won't get in, and Women Talking will just get 1 actress. I actually don't think that's impossible. And Claire Foy would probably be the one who's snubbed out of the 2, but I think it's safer to have both of them in, just because, And then number 4, Nina Hoss and Tar. This is not a lock by any means. But when I see this, I just have a gut feeling that this is going to happen. The feeling I'm getting is Leslie Manville and Phantom Thread. The feeling I'm getting is, what else? There's Leslie Manville and Phantom... Jessie Buckley and Lost Daughter. That's another one. That's the feeling I'm getting. My feeling is that she's going to get a BAFTA nomination and then an Oscar nomination. To go along with Tar's nomination package, I think she'll go along with it. She could get snubbed, though, so it's not possible that she gets snubbed, but I'll keep her in for now. And then number 5, Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think she'll get snubbed at maybe, I think she'll get snubbed at the Globes. The Globes will snub her, because I don't really think the Globes are going to, nominate that movie in, every category. However, I think critics groups will help her out. I think other major precursors like Critics' Choice, SAG, and BAFTA will help her out. To the point where I think the Academy's love for the movie will help her out. So yeah, I think she'll still get in. Hong Chau and The Whale. I think this only happens if The Whale's in Best Picture. If The Whale's in Best Picture, I think she'll probably get in. Although even then, I still think she could miss if the movie's in Picture because the category is insanely weak. I know the category is weak and all, but I mean, like, does the movie really have to get a supporting actress nomination? I have a feeling the movie's just like a Brendan Fraser show, and then that's it, really. Like, she doesn't need to get in, but they would probably still go for her if they like the film. Carey Mulligan, she said a lot of people have her at number 1. And I guess it's not impossible that she can get in. I think she'll get in a few precursors. However, like, I think she said won't be a big Academy player, and if the movie doesn't get a Best Picture nomination, she won't get nominated. That's the feeling I'm getting. And then at number 8, I have Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. I think I have to have her slotted in both categories because there is a possibility that this happens. And if this happens, as I already said, she'll just win in this category. She'll just, like, take the gold away from everyone else. And then Janelle Monáe Glass Onion, that won't happen. I had that in for a little bit, and then now that I'm completely losing confidence in the movie, I'm completely losing confidence in her. And Jamie Lee Curtis and Everything Everywhere, I don't think that's gonna happen. There are probably a few people who are predicting. There are probably a good amount of people who are predicting this, but I just don't think this is gonna happen at all. Best Supporting Actor, Ke Huy Quan, I think he's gonna win. Even if Everything Everywhere doesn't win Best Picture, I still think he'll win the award. Especially because his competition is like very bleak, to the point where I think he could do a clean sweep. Honestly, he can go full on Daniel Kaluuya from Judas and the Black Messiah, full on Ariana DeBose West Side Story, and just win every single precursor. Brendan Gleeson and Banshees of Inisherin, that will happen for sure. He could maybe win at BAFTA if they really love the movie that much. If they love it that much, give it like 3 acting awards. And screenplay, like, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. But I think he could win at BAFTA because the movie's British and they'll probably love the film. Ben Whishaw and Women Talking, probably still gonna happen. I think he's snubbable. I do think he is snubbable. However, I do think he'll still get in at all the precursors, and I still think he'll get nominated at the Oscars. So, yeah, I think he's a little bit weaker considering I think Women Talking is a little bit weaker overall. And I do think it's shaken some categories, but I still think he'll get in. So yeah, I still think he'll get in. And then Barry Keoghan, number 4 for Banshees. I think, same deal like Nina Haas and Tara. That's just a feeling in my head that this is definitely gonna happen. Like, he'll get same thing. I think he'll get BAFTA nominated and then boom, Oscar nominated. Jesse Plemons in Power of the Dog. I think great example. Yeah, I think Power of the Dog's like the perfect perfect comparison. You have 3 actors who get in everywhere and are big contenders at every circle, and then Barry Keoghan shows up. In Power of the Dog's case, Jesse Plemons shows up at BAFTAs. And then, boom, they over-nominate the movie and all 4 actors get in. Like, I think that'll be what happens with Banshees. And then number 5, I have Paul Dano for The Fabelmans. Could miss because his performance, I think, is a little bit more subtle, I think, from what I've heard. The performance is a little more subtle. However, I still have him in because I do think everyone else around him does look a little bit weaker, so, yeah. Brad Pitt in Babylon, this is one I was very confident in. Pre-reactions, now after seeing reactions, I haven't really seen him mentioned a lot. I've heard him mentioned a few times, and people who mention him really like his performance and think he's funny, but don't really think the Oscars are gonna, like, nominate him anymore. And he'll still get a few precursors, like Critics' Choice could still go for him. SAG, Golden Globe, they could go for him. BAFTAs will probably snub him. No, BAFTAs will snub him. And then with Barry Keoghan popping up, then he might pop down a little bit. Judd Hirsch and Fabelmans, I do think this is gonna happen at Critics' Choice. I think Critics' Choice will go for him, but I don't think he'll get in anywhere else. I think the thing hurting him is the limited screen time. He's only in the movie. I hear he's only in the movie for 10 minutes. That'd be that's very low screen time. However, I do hear he's very showy, so this could still happen. Tom Hanks and Elvis, for playing Elvis's manager. The rest of these I just don't really think are gonna happen. Brian Tyree Henry, I think I should move him up to number 8 actually. I have him at number 10 right now, but I think he should be number 8, and then Tom Hanks should be number 10, and then number 9 for me is Eddie Redmayne and The Goodness, just because I think the SAGs could go for that, but yeah. Pretty much all I'd say about this category. Original screenplay, I have Everything Everywhere at number 1, because Everything Everywhere, if it's going to win Best Picture, it's going to win Best Screenplay, so there you go. However, if The Fabelmans becomes the front-runner in Best Picture, it's going to become the front-runner in Screenplay. I don't think it can win Screenplay without Picture, though, because I do think it's already going to win Director, and if it won, and if Everything Over is, that big in Picture, then it's probably not going to win Best Picture. Banshees of Inisherin, I think this could happen. I think this could win at BAFTAs. I think BAFTAs could go. Listen, I might as well say that Banshee's probably going to win Best Picture at the BAFTAs, honestly, because I think it could win, 3 acting awards there in a screenplay. Although, I still think Everything Everywhere is going to be strong, though. Banshees, though, is locked in. That's going to happen for sure. Tar's going to happen because they're going to love the film, and if it's in Best Picture, it's going to be in Best Screenplay. And then Triangle of Sadness, number 5. This has always given lone screenplay vibes to me, Worst Person in the World type vibes. And I think now that the Babylon reactions are out, I feel more confident in this over Babylon. Babylon, I hear the script is messy. I heard from even the positive reactions that the script is just messy, and script is the biggest thing I saw criticized. And I think if the script is the weakest thing in the movie, they're just gonna snub it. They're gonna leave it out. Decision to Leave, if this gets in at BAFTA, it probably will get in at the Oscars if the movie becomes a big Best Picture contender. I do think it will happen, but I don't really think the movies. I don't really think the film has shown all the signs that it's gonna be a Best Picture contender, so probably not gonna get in. After Sun, probably not going to happen. Could maybe get in at Critics' Choice. Maybe. I don't know. Well, no, Critics' Choice has 5 slots. Yeah, they're not going to go for that. Although Critics' Circles, I think, will go for it quite a bit. So, yeah. And then last 2 slots are just placeholders till, because I had that slot in Best Picture, and then Bros, because it's wait, no, number 10 should be The Menu. Number 10 should be The Menu, and then Bros should be out of there. Bros is not going to happen. That movie flopped at the box office. While I'm editing all this, I might as well just put Brian Tyree Henry at number 8. I might just swap Brian Tyree Henry and Tom Hanks, because I think that's what I should do. So yeah. Yeah, because Brian Tyree Henry has been doing really well at Critics Awards, so yeah, I apologize for updating these predictions in the middle of the video, but yeah, I had to make these predictions accurate to what I'm saying here. So Till should be number 10. Till won't happen, and then The Menu number 9. I do think The Menu will get in at WGA. I do think it will get WGA, and then boom, it'll just get in that, and then boom. And because they like comedies, so yeah. So I do think they'll go for The Menu. Especially because I think it's way stronger than Bros. Bros is not gonna happen at all. Anyway, after that editing, let's move on to adapted screenplay, okay? Women Talking is gonna win. Of course, it's gonna win. It's definitely gonna win. The Whale's gonna get nominated. Even if it's not Best Picture, it has to get screenplay. Glass Onion, same thing. Even if it's not Best Picture, it has to get screenplay. Those 2 are locks. She Said, probably gonna get screenplay. Because the category is weaker, so there you go. They'll probably get screenplay. And then Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, number 5, because I have the movie a picture, so I might as well just have it in screenplay. And the category is weaker, so might as well have it in, I guess. Then other outside shots, Living, I think that could maybe happen. White Noise, people had that in their top 5s. I just think I'm thinking of these vibes from that, though. I don't think that's actually gonna happen. Top Gun Maverick, if they love that movie and they want to give it a screenplay nomination, that could happen. Although the movie's not really screenplay heavy, so So that probably, although the scene with Val Kilmer though, I think that could maybe get it in. No, that could get Tom Cruise in actually, because that scene was really emotional. Top Gun's possible though. Let's just say that. Batman, if they want to go for like a comic book movie like they did with Logan, sure, why not? They could go for it. I think the Batman's just gonna get snubs overall though. And then Avatar: Way of Water, just because it's Best Picture contender. I just have to have that slotted down there. We are officially done with the above the line categories. So yeah, we're officially done with above the line categories. So now we gotta move on to the text. Best cinematography, I have Avatar: Way of Water at number 1 because I think if this movie's in Best Picture, it's gonna win cinematography. The movie just looks so gorgeous. Like everything just looks outstanding. Babylon obviously gonna get in. Definitely gonna get in, of course. The Fabelman's gonna get in, of course. It's Janusz Kaminski, Spielberg. Movie looks gorgeous based on the trailer. Gonna get in. Top Gun Maverick. Like, I mean, the fact that they were able to put the cameras in the airplanes, and I think that'll help it get in. And the movie just looked very good overall. So yeah, I think that'll get in. And then All Quiet on the Western Front. This is a war movie. The cinematography's stunning. And international movies usually do well in cinematography. Ida got in. Cold War. Never Look Away. Never Look Away. That nomination literally came out of nowhere. So yeah, I still think All Quiet will get cinematography nomination. Although it is snubbable, though. It is snubbable. And then Empire of Light number 6. Yeah, I'm kicking out Deakins. Deakins didn't get in for The Goldfinch. And I know he was going to win for 1917 that year, but I just think because the movie's weaker overall, it just has slip in every category. Empire of Light, I just think it's going to get completely wiped out from the face of the earth. Bardo, I still think this could happen. Bardo, if they want to go for, if that's the international movie they want to go for in cinematography, okay, there you go. Banshees of Inisherin, just there because if they really love the film, they could go for it there. And then the Batman's there because Greg Fraser, he recently won for Dune, and the movie's gorgeous looking. However, I just think the movie will get snubs in most categories. It'll be tragic. So yeah. And then now we're on the editing. This category is going to be completely insane, and I can't wait for it. I still have Top Gun Maverick at number 1, because I have a winning sound, and the correlation there is very strong. Everything Everywhere at number 2. I think this movie is just a little bit more shaky for a sound nomination, but if it was getting a sound nomination, I do think this would probably win editing. And even though the sound editing win correlation is bigger than the nomination correlation, the nomination correlation is important too, and I don't have Everything Everywhere on sound, so might as well not have it number 1 for editing. I think those are the only two wait, no, I guess Banshees of Inisherin, that's another gut feeling, that's what's gonna happen. They're just gonna nominate it there. If they love the movie, they're gonna nominate it in editing. I mean, the editor won for Sound and Metal. I think that helps a little bit. And I think the movie's gonna be one of the biggest contenders, so there you go, that gets in. And then my last 2 slots, Avatar: The Way of Water. I think this is gonna be a big technical contender. And if it's a big tech contender, you get to nominate for editing. So that'd be cool. So yeah, I think that'll get in. And number 5 is Elvis, because if Elvis is in Best Picture, it's gonna get editing. The editing in that movie was nuts. They usually like to nominate movies for having strong editing and stuff, and the editing in Elvis will be insane. The editing in Elvis is insane, I should say. Other outside shots, though, I did end up removing Babylon. Here's the thing. I decided to mention it. I'm gonna decide to mention this right now. I actually have Babylon getting the same nomination package that Mank got. Picture, director, 2 acting nominations, and then just all the text that Mank got. So cinematography, editing, and then a few other texts. So cinematography, and then other texts that we still have to talk about because I don't have it getting in for editing. Mank got stuff for editing, so Yeah, just have it being Mank. Getting almost same nominations that Mank did. The only difference is that it's in lead actress instead of supporting actress. We've been talking, I'm just not really feeling in editing. That could still happen in editing, but I'm just not really feeling it for now. Although, I mean, if the movie's like a little bit bigger of a contender than I think it is, they'll probably still get editing. I just think the movie's a little bit wishy-washy in other categories. And this is one of the categories I think it's wishy-washy in. The Fabelmans, a lot of people are predicting this because it's a big Best Picture contender. But I actually do not think it's going to get editing because Spielberg hasn't gotten a movie nominated for editing since Lincoln, I think. And this movie, I just think, is a little bit harder to nominate in the tech categories. I mean, you'll still get, like, cinematography, obviously, but I just think it's a little bit hard to nominate in the tech categories. So I do think they're going to leave it out in editing. And then Tar is just number 9 because Tar is number 9. But I guess Tar is not 100% impossible, but I wouldn't predict it. Production design, Babylon's winning. It's definitely going to win. It's going to win for sure. Even with the reactions, it's still going to win production design. It's one of the biggest locks of the night. Avatar: The Way of Water will get nominated, and if it's like really, really good, I guess it could. I guess it could challenge Babylon for the win, and it could maybe win. The Fabelmans will get nominated because this category is actually not that insane, so the Fabelmans has a spot here. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I do think is a little bit snubbable, because considering the movie doesn't have like the greatest reviews and stuff. Like, the reviews in this movie aren't like the best reviews. I mean, well, no, the reviews are good though. They're good. And also, I think all the stuff that they did with Wakanda, all the world building that they did with like Talokan as well. I think Talokan was mostly visual effects, but all the production design was still good, so they'll probably still nominate it. And then Elvis is in. Elvis is in here because like. Elvis is in here because Baz Luhrmann has a good track record of getting his films nominated in production design. Fun fact, the same production designer of Elvis also worked on the costumes, and she won for The Great Gatsby, so in both categories. So yeah, that's a little fun fact. I originally thought Elvis was gonna miss because the movie isn't as production design heavy as is with the costumes, but I do think the fact that the category is weaker, they're probably just gonna nominate it. And then in the other outside shots, All Quiet on the Western Front, that could maybe happen, I guess, because it's a war movie and the production design looks really good. However, I think the movie's just weaker overall, and they're just not going to nominate it. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is not impossible, but I don't think it's going to happen because they literally never nominated an animated movie in production design before. This would literally be the first one. And it could maybe be the first one, but I wouldn't predict it to be the first one. Because that would be a bold prediction. And then Woman King probably won't happen, and Glass Onion won't happen because of their contemporary bias. Probably. I haven't seen the movie, but I hear the production design is amazing. Costume design, Babylon. I still think this is going to have the most extravagant costumes. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, though, has really good costumes. Could that maybe win? Maybe, but... And the fact that it's a little bit weaker than Babylon, I think Babylon will still take it. And because Babylon's just going to be batshit nuts with that and the production design and all that stuff. Although those two are getting in, Elvis is getting in. Could that win? I guess it's not possible, but I wouldn't predict it to win. And Woman King number 4. Woman King could miss. I think Woman King's like weaker overall, and they could get. I think it's not possible for a good save, but they'll probably still get it here because the costumes were pretty good. And then Miss Harris Goes to Paris number 5. This movie is about costumes, and it'll probably get in at BAFTA, and it could get in at the Costumes Guild, and it could be like a big lone costume nominee, like Cyrano was. Actually, the biggest like comparison with Cyrano would be Chevalier, but that's next year, and that probably won't get in next year. So yeah, Fabelman's number 6. I just think that's harder to argue that would get a costume nomination in comparison to production design. I think production design is actually easier to argue. With the costumes though, although the costumes were done by Mark Bridges, so I guess you can't underestimate him. Living was done by Sandy Powell. Same thing, you can't underestimate her. That could probably be a BAFTA nominee, and then boom, that could get in. Yeah, I think Living could actually happen, but I feel a little bit safer with Miss Harris Goes to Paris. And then other, like, placeholders, women talking. Some of the costumes I saw in that trailer were pretty good. And then Everything Everywhere, like, with Jobu Tubaki. That was all cool, but that won't get in. The Whale's gonna win makeup. Next category is makeup. But The Whale's gonna win, for sure. Even if Brendan Fraser loses actor, it's still gonna win makeup. And if Brendan Fraser does win actor, it's gonna get that nice, sweet makeup actor package that Tammy Faye got last year. The Batman will get nominated because of what they did with Colin Farrell. That was really good stuff. Elvis will get nominated because of what they did with Tom Hanks. So yeah, that'll get, and especially because Elvis is a bigger contender. Babylon will still get in because the movie's probably gonna have a lot of prosthetics and makeup and all that stuff. And assuming it's like Mank, Mank did get this nomination despite not having like the most like prosthetics. So yeah, I'll still predict Babylon to get in here. And number 5 is Roald Dahl's Matilda the musical because of what they did with Emma Thompson. Like, those prosthetics look insane. And if this shows up on the shortlist, you better watch out, because usually whenever they nominate something on the shortlist that goes heavy on the prosthetics, it gets in. Yeah, so yeah, there's something for the prosthetics from the shortlist that has heavy prosthetics, so it'll just get nominated. Doesn't matter if the movie's well known. We saw this happen with Coming to America, Man Called Ove, Jackass, the man who jumped out the 100-year-old man who jumped out the window. This is why I think X could get in too. Like, if X is also shortlisted, that could get in because of what they did to Mia Goth. Absolutely insane. I think Pearl is gonna help X a lot stay in the conversation. However, I think that the Oscars, like, with their, like, they might have a horror movie bias, and that might prevent it from getting shortlisted. And that might prevent it from getting nominated. And why do they not like horror movies? Maybe because they're, like, too mainstream or some shit. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I think X should get in, because of what they do with Tamia Goth alone was outstanding. All Quiet on the Western Front has makeup. They have, like, corpses and clay on people's faces and all that stuff. However, I just think the movie's a little bit weaker, so, you know, it's probably not going to get in. And then Black Panther Wakanda Forever just there because it's Black Panther, and then Everything Everywhere just there because of what they did with, like, Joby Tubaki was cool. Best Original Score. Best Original Score. Sorry, that joke was stupid. Babylon's probably number 1. I think it's pretty safe having that up front. The 2 tracks that they released a while ago, 2 weeks ago or something, were really good. I do think Justin Hurwitz is going to get his 3rd Oscar for this score. I think the score is going to be absolutely insane. And it's going to be fantastic. Women Talking is getting in because it's Hildur Guðnadóttir, who won for Joker, and they released a track, and the track actually reminds me a little bit of the score for Power of the Dog, and the score for Power of the Dog didn't win, so I don't predict this score to win. I just think Babylon's score is a lot more, like, showy. From what I've heard from the tracks, of course. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio will happen. This is Alexander Desplat. I know they've been snubbing him recently, but it doesn't even matter, because if this is, like, a big contender, then that doesn't even matter, because that's still getting in. Even if it's not in Best Picture, I still think that'll get in, because from the tracks that I've heard, the score sounds beautiful, so yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, I think they'll get in. Banshees of Inisherin, another nomination to have that movie getting, because if it's in Best Picture, it's gonna get Best Score, I think. Carter Burwell, he got in for 3 Billboards and Carol. And I think he'll get it for this movie. And number 5, I have Avatar: The Way of Water, because Avatar: The Way of Water, I think, is probably has this, like, big grand score. And if they love the movie and they want to nominate the movie in a good amount of categories, they'll nominate it in score. Could that win? Like, could that maybe win? I mean, the composer isn't really well known, but Ludwig Göransson, I'd argue, wasn't well known when he wasn't as well known until Black Panther, and he won for that. So it's not possible. I think that could maybe win, but yeah. The Fabelmans I have missing because I think the score it's probably a little bit of a softer score, a little bit of a little softer jazz score like The Post was, and The Post didn't get it, and it was like the same thing. So yeah, a lot of people really have that at number one in score. That's not gonna win score. It might not even get nominated, and I don't have it getting nominated. So yeah. The Woman King, I think I have to have that pretty high up because it's Terrence Blanchard. And Terrence Blanchard got low nominated for The Five Bloods. So I think it's pretty clear that they're fans of the guy. So I do think that could get in. Batman probably won't happen. That should happen. Michael Giacchino should honestly 100% get nominated for this. However, I think they're going to snub the movie in a lot of categories, and this will be one of the categories that they'll snub it in. Like, look what happened with Tenet. They just snubbed that in a bunch of categories, too. And Empire of Light, I just have that on there because no reason, just there. Not going to happen, though. Best sound, Top Gun Maverick, number 1. Has the most sound out of everything. The planes roaring, all the explosions. That's going to win sound. Avatar: The Way of Water could also lock to get nominated. Obviously going to get nominated. It's a sci-fi movie. It's a big contender, big tech contender. Going to get in. All Quiet on the Western Front. I don't see how they don't nominate this. This is a war movie, and the sound is insane. I think it has to get this nomination, even if it gets, like, nothing else. And, I mean, it'll still get international, but even if it gets, like, nothing else outside of that, it'll still probably get a sound nomination. The Batman, I do think could miss. However, I still have it in because the sound was, like, absolutely insane. And they could still, if they want to nominate I don't see them low nominating the Batman. I think they'll nominate it in at least 2 categories, and this is one of the 2 categories I think we'll get into. Especially because of how amazing the sound was. And then Babylon, number 5. Babylon could miss. That could miss. However, assuming that gets the same nominations that Meg did, Meg got sound. Babylon, and they like to nominate Best Picture nominees in sound, so there you go. They'll probably, so yes, and they like to nominate Best Picture nominees, so there you go. You can nominate Babylon. Or, I have another Best Picture nominee. I have 2 other Best Picture nominees, like, right on the outside. Elvis and Everything Everywhere. I do have Elvis at number 6, because if they really love that film, they'll nominate it in sound, probably. And then Everything Everywhere, like, if they really want to go that far, they could nominate it in sound, I think. And you don't think it's impossible. However, the category is pretty crowded, so I do think Everything Everywhere will get left out. And then other contenders, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Probably won't happen because it's not a Best Picture contender. But if it was Best Picture contender, I'd probably have it a little bit higher. But I don't think it'll happen because it's not Best Picture. And they do not like to nominate Marvel films in sound. The only time when they nominated Marvel movies in sound was with Iron Man and Black Panther. And Black Panther was a big contender, and Iron Man probably got in a year where it just wasn't crowded. And then my number 9 is Nope. Nope has insane sound design. Should get in, but it won't get in. And also, I don't have this listed on here, but Emancipation, like, could that happen? Maybe, I don't know. I just have a feeling that they're just not going to want to go anywhere near that movie. Best Original Song. I have Lift Me Up from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever at number 1. The song is a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I think that'll be enough to give it the win, and also Rihanna. I think they're going to want, I think giving Rihanna an Oscar and giving Ryan Coogler an Oscar and giving Ludwig Göransson his second Oscar will be way more exciting than just giving Lady Gaga her second Oscar. Hold My Hand for Top Gun Maverick, I guess that could still win, I think. I still think it's not possible that wins. Or just, like, Lift Me Up, giving that, the win would be more exciting because you get to give Rihanna her first Oscar. Lady Gaga already has her Oscar, you know. Both songs are amazing, though. Both songs will get in, though. Applause from Tell It Like a Woman will get in. It's Diane Warren. There you go. It might be like, what's Tell It Like a Woman? But it doesn't matter what the movie is, because they'll nominate her for the most random movies. They'll nominate her for the song from Beyond the Lights, the song from Four Good Days, the song from Breakthrough, which I'm assuming most people haven't heard about that movie. So yeah, that'll get in. It's not that good of a song, but it doesn't matter how good the song is, because I think most of the songs that she gets nominated for are kind of meh. But this song will probably still get her nominated. Number 4, I have Stand Up from Till. This is the song from Till. It's a civil rights song, another civil rights song called Stand Up. Another, like, uplifting song called Stand Up. And, yeah. These, like, songs from these civil rights movies are really baity. And I think Stand Up will be another, like, baity one. And it'll probably just get in. It's a fine song, nothing that great, but probably still get in anyway. And then number 5, I have Ciao Papa from Del Toro's Pinocchio, which is actually a good song. Pretty good song. It was released on Friday, and it's good. And I think if Guillermo del Toro, if the movie's a big contender, and it's a musical, so they'll probably get a song nominated, I guess. It's not a lock, though, because I hear the soundtrack's like the weakest aspect of the film, or the songs are the weakest aspect, not the soundtrack in general, because I hear the scores, like, because of the score and stuff, but songs I hear are the weakest part about the film, so it could miss. Nobody Like You from Turning Red. This could happen. This recently got a Grammy nomination, and Billie Eilish and Phineas were involved with this. They recently won this award for No Time to Die. This could happen. This could happen at, like, other places, too, like the Golden Globes. However, I don't have it in here, because I don't really think the song, like, necessarily, like, reminds me of something that they would go for, honestly. So I have it out. So I have it getting left out. Not Too from RR. I want this to get in so bad. Just hear this. If this got performed at the Oscars, I'd be so happy. However, I think this song. I think the Oscars will be boring and they'll leave it out, and we won't get to see it performed, and that'll suck. New Body Roomba is another one from White Noise that a lot of people are predicting, but I don't really think that'll get in. And then Carolina from Where the Crawdads Sing. This is Taylor Swift. This will probably happen on, like, the Golden Globes or something. And I'm not even the biggest fan of Taylor Swift, but it's actually not a bad song. I wouldn't be opposed to it getting nominated. However, I don't think it will get nominated. So yeah. Best visual effects. We only have 3 more categories left after this. Don't worry, guys. Avatar: The Way of Water is going to win. That's unchallenged. This is probably the biggest lock of the entire night. That and the next category that we're going to get into are, like, the biggest locks. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is going to get nominated. There's nothing glaringly bad about the visual effects, unlike there was in the first film. So, yeah, they'll get nominated. And they love to nominate Marvel films every year, so it doesn't matter if the Marvel movie's, like... It doesn't matter. They'll still nominate a Marvel movie. Everything Everywhere All at Once will get nominated because the category is, like, not that crowded. And it's a Best Picture nominee, so I guess you gotta have it in, I guess. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, I think that will happen because the stop motion looks beautiful, and the featurette, they released a featurette back in September, I think. And you get to see them using the green screen and all that stuff. It just looks like really baity work, and if it's a big contender, even if it's, like, not as big, I still think they'll nominate it just because they'll just respect the stop motion. And then Top Gun Maverick at number 5. Like, this movie has visual effects. They have explosions. They have other things. I think it'll be similar to No Time to Die getting nominated for visual effects, I think. So yeah, I do think it's going to be similar to No Time to Die, and it'll just get in. I actually think this top 5 is pretty good. This top 5 is pretty solid. I don't really see how anything else could really get... I mean, unless the Batman or Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness get in or something. Batman, I just think they're going to leave it out in a lot of categories, and this is going to be one of them. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, this movie has a lot of visual effects, so that I guess that could happen. I think they could nominate 2 Marvel films if they want to. However, the visual effects, like, aren't the best, and the reviews weren't the best either, so I think that'll hurt it. Nope is just on here because the visual effects were fantastic, and then Thor: Love and Thunder is just on here because it's Marvel, but the visual effects were shit, so that won't get in. Right. Okay. After this category, we only have two more left. The best animated feature. Obviously, Pinocchio is gonna win. Obviously, this is gonna happen. Everything else is just unchallenged at this point. Everything is it's unchallenged. Pinocchio is gonna take it. One of the biggest locks alongside visual effects. Turning Red's gonna get nominated. It's Pixar. It's a generally well liked movie. I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, I'll get in. These are the only two that I think are actual like locks. I think everything else aside from it is like kind of like snubbable. Although I do think this next closest thing to a lock is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. I know this movie was really underseen. However, it's a great movie and the movie has amazing reviews. So why not? And it's eligible, so that helps. The fact that it's eligible, they have the opportunity to nominate it, and the fact that the reviews are just so damn good, they'll probably go for it, I think. And then Strange World. Strange World, I don't know if this is gonna get in. It's not just because like I saw the movie today and I didn't really like the film. Yeah, Strange World was just not a good movie. I think if it gets in, it's just going to be complete Disney bias. Although they do have a good track record with getting their original animated films nominated, so I guess they'll probably still get in. However, I do think the movie does have a good amount of stuff going against it, though. I think the movie will flop at the box office. Because the movie's been very, like, poorly marketed. And there's stuff in the movie that'll probably make like a certain group of people want to boycott it and all that stuff. So the movie will probably be underseen. Even on Disney Plus, like I'm not 100% sure if it'll do that great on there. And the reviews like weren't stellar, so it could absolutely get snubbed in my opinion. But I guess I'll keep it in here for now because Disney Animation still has a good track record with getting original animated films. And the last time an original Disney animated film was not nominated. When I talk about original, I'm talking about something that wasn't based on like something else or something. Was with Meet the Robinsons in 2007, or Tangled, I guess, if you want to count Tangled, because Tangled wasn't necessarily a sequel, but Tangled only got in because there were only three. Tangled only got snubbed because there were 3 slots. If it got 5 slots, it would have gotten in. And then the 5th slot, I had My Father's Dragon. My Father's Dragon could miss, because the movie was not really seen. No one saw it. The movie was very poorly marketed by Netflix. And I don't think anyone is watching it, and that could hurt its chances quite a bit. However, the movie is Cartoon Saloon and Netflix. I think that studio helps it. And also, it's Netflix. They like to nominate their Netflix movies, and the movie and the reviews are like good. So why not, really, right? Like the reviews, like people actually like the film. Like I don't see anyone who actually like doesn't like the movie. Like so, yeah. I think I'll still get in, but I do think it is snubbable. The Bad Guys, I think, could take its spot. I think The Bad Guys could get in because The Bad Guys has the good reviews. It's very popular, has a big fan base on the internet, especially among all the like furries and stuff. And also, it did okay at the box office. It wasn't like a big hit, but it wasn't like a big flop either. So, Bad Guys could get in. So, yeah, I do think it's possible that Pinocchio is like the only Netflix movie that gets in. My Father's Dragon Wendell Wild just like gets snubbed completely. Bad Guys, though, I'm looking out for that one. Wendell and Wild, could this still happen? I mean, Henry Selick was involved. I mean, Henry Selick's the director, that helps. The fact that Key and Peele were involved with it, I guess that helps. However, the movie flopped on Netflix, and My Father's Dragon, from what I've seen on, like, IMDb and Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, the reviews for that are, like, slightly better, so yeah, I do feel a little bit more confident having My Father's Dragon above it. And then Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Could this happen? I think this could maybe happen. I think this movie will do very well at the box office. I think critics will like the film enough, I guess. However, I'm just getting like Sing 2 and Croods 2 vibes from it. That's the one thing holding back, is I'm just getting those vibes from Pussy Boots. I think they're gonna want to focus more on the bad guys. And then Lightyear's done. Lightyear just flew deep in the sun and it's not even there, and it just died. And I just want to say it. I think the same thing could happen with Strange World. Even though I still have it in here, I do think the same thing could happen to it. Anyway, moving on to our second to last category, which is Best International Feature. I have Decision to Leave at number 1. I do think this is back as the international contender, as the big international contender. I think it'll win. All Quiet on the Western Front will get nominated for sure. I think this is probably the biggest locked-in category. Close will probably get nominated. That's A24. So yeah, they'll probably get in. The Quiet Girl, I think, will get in because the reviews for it, from what I've seen, the reviews are like amazing for it. So I think that helps it. And then Bardo, number 5. I mean, Bardo has Iñárritu's name attached to it, and the movie could maybe get in for cinematography. And so yeah, I think I think it does have the big name director attached to it. So yeah, why not? They could go for it. I think out of the 5 though, like it's the most snubbable. They could like snub it in favor of like something random. Holy Spider from Denmark, I think that could happen. Corsage from Austria, Argentina 1985 from Argentina, and then Plan 75 from Japan. Are the other ones I have on the outside that could maybe take Bardo's place, or maybe take something else's place in here. Alright, we're finally on to our final category. It's been over an hour, but we're done. We're almost done. Best Documentary Feature. I have All the Beauty and the Bloodshed at number 1. This missed at a few places, most notably it missed at Critics' Choice Documentary Awards. However, I still think it'll get in. If it gets nominated, it'll probably win, I think. Fire of Love has done, I think, the best nomination-wise in terms of these documentaries, so I have that in. So yeah, I think that will get in. It also has National Geographic attached to it, so yeah. That helps it. Navalny will get in. This is, especially with the whole like Putin stuff with Russia and all that stuff, it's going to be very relevant. They're going to nominate it, I think. All That Breathes is doing really well, actually. I've seen it get in at quite a few places, so yeah, I think that'll get in. And then Descendant, I still have that at number 5, because even though it's not doing like the best, it's not doing the greatest, it's Netflix, and Higher Ground, which is the Obama's production company, was involved with it. And I think that's like enough. I mean, Higher Ground helped Crip Camp get in. So they could help Descendant get in. Also, people really like Descendant. The reviews are good, so yeah. And then right on the outside is Goodnight Oppie, which won at the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards. I do have it missing, though, because I really like my top 5, and I can't really, like, interrupt it, really. My top 5 won't go 5 out of 5, though. Like, it definitely won't. But, yeah, whatever. The Territory, that could happen. This documentary's been doing pretty well. Moon Age Daydream, I don't think will happen, because I think it's too experimental for them, even though it was very good. And then Senior is a documentary about Robert Downey Jr.'s father. And I haven't really seen that documentary show up anywhere, but they could still weirdly go for it, I think. Because it's best documentary feature. Nothing is really done. So, yeah. So, yeah, those were my updated Oscar predictions for November. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.